Meghan's lawsuit against her sister Samantha was recently dismissed without a trial. Accusations that Meghan suppresses women's voices are like cold water on what she has done in the past to speak up to protect women. A hypocritical and disgusting act. There is information that Meghan also colluded with the Sussex squad to harm Samantha. Samantha's lawyer also wants to take Princess Catherine's testimony because she believes Meghan has wasted her on the royal family. And welcome back to my channel. It's nice to meet you here again to chat. I hope the information I bring will be useful to you. Now let's go into details and see what's there. I'm not surprised that the lawsuit was won in favor of Meghan because she had someone to back her up. And because Samantha's accusations were mostly weak and unreliable, it was understandable that Meghan won. Let me analyze the following factors. First, in her lawsuit, Samantha claims that she was defamed by Meghan because of her statement in the Oprah interview that she grew up an only child and that she hardly knew her. This wasn't considered defamatory because these were Meghan's opinions about her relationship with her half-sister, thus protected under free speech. The second, Samantha claims that she was defamed by Meghan because of her statement in the Oprah interview that she saw her half-sister about 19 years ago and 10 years before that. This wasn't considered defamatory because it was a substantial truth, meaning the gist of it is true, even if the details are false. In this case, Samantha admitted in court that she hadn't seen Meghan in person for years, but she allegedly talked to her on the phone. While that may be true, the fact that she admitted that she hasn't seen her half-sister in person in a very long time proved the gist of Meghan's statement, thus making it a substantial truth, and therefore, by law, it can't be defamatory. The third, Samantha claims she was defamed by Meghan because of her statement in the Oprah interview that her half-sister changed her last name back to Markle, her maiden name, after she started dating Prince Harry. This statement wasn't considered defamatory because it was another form of substantial truth. Before Meghan dated Prince Harry, Samantha went back and forth between her married name and her maiden name. When Meghan started dating Prince Harry, however, Samantha started using her maiden name and has used it since. While she didn't legally change her name, the fact that she started permanently using her maiden name when she started dating Prince Harry is enough to prove the gist of Meghan's statement, thus making it, by law, substantially true. The fourth, Samantha claims that she was defamed by Meghan because of the statements in both the Oprah interview and the Netflix docuseries that they were out to get them, that there was a smear campaign against them, that they would not stop until they destroy us, among other statements, implicated her, thus defamation by implication. However, this isn't considered defamatory because they were very vague and didn't implicate anyone specifically, nor did they single Samantha out. As a result, these statements are protected under free speech. The fifth, Samantha claims that she was defamed by Meghan because of her statement in the Netflix docuseries that she doesn't remember growing up with her or living in the same house as her, which isn't a surprise considering Samantha is 17 years older than Meghan. This wasn't considered defamatory because it's her opinion, along with the fact that memory is subjective, making it difficult to prove if it's true or false. Thereby, it's protected under freedom of speech. The sixth, Samantha claims that she was defamed by Meghan because of Christopher Boozy's statements in the Netflix docuseries that Meghan executive produced, that Samantha was part of a group that was spreading misinformation on Twitter, allegedly resulting in her account getting suspended, and his reaction to her allegedly doing this, saying he couldn't understand how Samantha would be allegedly part of a hate group. This wasn't considered defamatory because while the reason why her Twitter account was suspended might not be true, the fact that her account was suspended, which Samantha admitted to in court, proved the gist of the two statements, thus making it another substantial truth. On top of that, the terms disinformation and hate group are loosely defined, meaning there isn't a solid definition of what these two terms are, thus making it impossible to prove whether Boozy's statements are true or false. Thus it's also protected under free of speech. The seventh, Samantha claims that Meghan's statements caused her serious harm to her reputation, causing her to get death threats, her book to fail on the charts, and for many people to shun her. This was tossed out because Samantha didn't prove and failed to provide any proof that this caused harm to her reputation, which is often the main reason defamation cases get tossed out in the first place. The eighth, Samantha claims that Meghan's statements was a form of actual malice, which is a charge specifically for public figures and limited-purpose public figures, and it's when a person knows what they're saying is false, but says it anyway. However, this was tossed out because Samantha failed to prove that Meghan knew what she was saying was false. Another reason many of these defamation cases get tossed out, and the main reason they are considered difficult to win. Overall, this is why Samantha's case was dismissed. Not because the judge is biased, but because this is a very weak case. In my opinion, Samantha needs to set up an account to fund her legal expenses. I'm sure there are enough people out there who will support Samantha in fighting her case. I also think Samantha should sue Scabies and the publisher for her freedom. She should call Jason Cuniff, and this will lead to Rachel being called to give evidence. She needs to be more aggressive with the lawsuit to have any hope of winning against Meghan. I was also very disappointed this case did not at least proceed to the discovery phase to expose all the lies Methane told. Unfortunately, Samantha's case was weak from the beginning, which is why it was dismissed. Samantha's attorneys didn't provide strong evidence to conclude defamation. I am clear on this. The high-prong tests to meet the definition of defamation fell short to nothing more than harmless injury based on Meghan's subjective opinions. I hope she can come back with a new, stronger case somehow or write a tell, all to expose what an evil half-sister she has. But dragging the royal family and Princess Catherine into this mess is not right. I completely agree with everything about Samantha's accusations against Meghan, but dragging Catherine into it makes me feel uncomfortable. What is more doubtful is that the weird thing about this judge's behavior is that she was telling Samantha's legal team to hurry along with the depositions, and then she dismissed the case with prejudice, which is an absolute closing of the case by the judge's decision. So why was she telling them to hurry the depositions? I'm going around in circles, I know. Sorry, but another thing is that every time Samantha's team requested Meghan's deposition, came the reply, "We haven't had a decision on the dismissal yet," as though they were expecting a good result. The sudden decision just seems questionable, considering the judge herself picked up on Meghan's use of the word only when she was talking about Samantha using the Markle name and Meghan's lawyers trying to omit it when they gave her evidence. The funny thing is, how did Meghan think she was an only child if Samantha drove her to school, lived in the flat above her dad's house, and was in and out the house, calling the same person dad? She was spoilt like an only child when she was not spinning the poverty story, where she lived on $4.99 salad bar at Sizzler's Gosh for $4.99 in those days. I could have bought enough salad ingredients for a week of salad lunches. Every story Meghan spins is in direct conflict with her last story, and on top of that, she just tells and outlies and labels them her truth. It might be her perception or opinion, but there is only one truth, the one story that doesn't change each time it is told. Meghan can't even tell how she and Harry met, even that changes every time. This is a family dispute between Samantha and her younger sister. Catherine does not need to be involved in this. As the saying goes, never get into a fight with a pig. You will get dirty and the pig will love it. Princess Catherine does not want and should not be dragged into another family's issues. It's bad enough she has to deal with the dysfunction and negativity of her husband's family, but to involve her in Meghan Markle's dysfunctional family problems is insane. It seems everyone wants to keep harassing Kate in some way. Meghan does it directly and indirectly, and the royal family continues to let her. The media is currently doing it, and now Meghan's sister wants to do it. Catherine, the Princess of Wales, should not have been summoned by Samantha. The royal family will not be drawn into third-party personal legal proceedings, and rightly so. Samantha needs to find old friends that Meghan has abandoned over the years. Her ex-husband, her ex-boyfriend, her ex-colleague, her ex-boss. Catherine has been treated horribly by Harry and Meghan and the Sussex Sugars, so leave her alone. Samantha needs to make her case independent of Princess Catherine. Perhaps there is a member of staff from before Harry and Meghan became non-royal who could provide eyewitness testimony about their behaviors. Meghan can be as manipulative as she wants, but in the end, one day she will soon become a very lonely, broken, failed person, an ex-wife and a former royal, not to mention an imposter and a liar. Meanwhile, she's milking it for all she can get for as long as she can. I confirm that the royal family will never interfere in this matter between Samantha and her half-sister. What they can do is make the internal investigation public about bullying claims instead of sweeping it under the rug. That would be proof that this woman is a bully. Of course, Henry is a neurotic bully and prone to terrible outbursts. Valentine Lowe also pointed this out in his book Courtiers. Lowe mentioned the time before meeting his succubus. He treats his employees the same way she treats her employees. What a nightmare these two had to go through for the staff. Why does the palace have to continue to cover this up? In any case, the royal family will not be personally involved in this case. Harry is the first senior royal in 100 years to be called as a witness. And that's in the UK, let alone the US. As if the Princess of Wales would have any duty, obligation, or responsibility for any such thing. The royal family is going through a crisis, as if they need more circus around them right now. It seems like they want to get rid of Meghan, not invite more drama. That's not their problem. This is not Hollywood. This is royalty. The royal family is trying to get rid of all things American. I'm sure of it, after what they've seen since Meghan married Harry and what it's been like. There are people in America who are supporting Meghan to destroy the monarch as if they want to do anything to anyone. Try to put yourself in their shoes and think about what they must think about America at this time. This is exactly what I meant by culture when this first started with Harry marrying Meghan. I think Samantha needs to drop this. At first, Catherine wouldn't want to get involved. Next, Samantha fails to turn it into a fishing exercise, looking for people who support her point of view. After all, it is defamation. She must prove before the law that she was defamed in a country with freedom of speech laws. According to other lawyers, Meghan was very careful with what she said in her interview with OW. Most of what she said about her family were her impressions, and the negative things were voiced by Oprah, and Meghan agreed with her. So she can get away with it by saying that she doesn't speak for them and that what she says is her thoughts and impressions, so cannot be construed as defamatory. As someone else said, she will first have to role-play with her lawyers before the interview. She's done it before and is the queen of gaslighting and lying. What's more exciting is that, as far as I know, Markle has the honor of being the only person in the world to whom the late Queen Elizabeth has uttered publicly known insult. The Queen of England must have met thousands of people from all over the world in her 96 years of life. In my humble opinion, the British royal family bent over backward to help her, but Markle herself is so excited she has to be seen as having total control, and she calls herself a feminist, but has to live thanks to a certain rich man. Anyway, I'm sure there is no way that Catherine will get herself involved in this defamation case. That is reaching. I want Samantha to get justice, but it will never happen. I support Dan Wooten, and I think that Dan will continue to support Samantha's case and get it all out in the public. The judge was bought and will not allow Sam's political stance to go out there. Talk about sibling rivalry. When you have a sister like Meghan, it's best to have nothing to do with her. Forget that she even exists and move on with your life. Often, the courtroom is not the best place to seek justice, especially when the crime is of the spiritual type. At some point, Piper will have to get paid, whether in this life or the next, and Meghan won't have to worry about that anymore. It's unimaginable if I had a sister like her. I'll probably go crazy. This is the news I bring you today. Sadly, Samantha's lawsuit over Meghan's allegations is over, but after all, I love Princess Catherine more. She is not involved in these allegations, and Samantha has no right to have her appear as a witness. As for Meghan, she's so shameless and obnoxious that she just does what's best for herself because she probably has someone's back, so she's no longer afraid of anything. How worrying. Hopefully, Samantha can be strong and find more evidence to be able to return in the next lawsuit. I hope she wins. What about you? What do you think about this lawsuit? Let's chat and let me know your opinion in the comments section. Thank you for listening so far. Please follow the channel to see the next information I want to send to you